Hey, this is Danny, and we're going to look at the basics of HTML today. And I'm going to show you how to create a web page from scratch. You don't need to know any other programming language such as C or C++ to follow along. All you need is a computer and a text editor and a browser. This is all you need to get started with HTML. I'm going to use Atom as my text editor, but you can use any other text editor you wish. There's Sublime, there's Vim. There are just so many on the market today, but Atom is my favorite, and that's what I use for most of my projects. When it comes to the browser, I would prefer you use Google Chrome, but you can also use Firefox or any other browser that works for you. I would prefer Chrome, but you can use anything you would like. Now, when it comes to HTML, there are three basic things that make up a HTML page: tags, attributes, and values. Let's look at the paragraph tag, for example. Paragraph tag is written this way. You have an opening tag, then you take the paragraph's content. Let's say I want to write this is a paragraph. You would write the content after the opening tag, and then you would do /p. So just this tag alone here is what is known as the opening tag, and this tag is what is known as a closing tag. A closing tag always consists of a forward slash. A forward slash indicates a closing tag. So any content that you would like to put within these two tags should be between the opening and the closing tag. So this right here will be rendered as a paragraph. So that's the basic syntax of how tags are written. Next, let's look at attributes. Now, tags can contain a number of different attributes. Most attributes are common to most tags, but there are some attributes that are very specific to certain tags. For example, let's take the align attribute. So here's how you write an attribute into a tag. Just go into the opening tag, give it some space, and just type align. This would be the name of my attribute. Now, if you're using a text editor like Atom or any other text editor, the attributes would have a different color from the tag name. So that's an easy way to identify attributes and tags. Now, you would write your attribute. In this case, my attribute is align. So I would write align is equal to and a pair of quotes. These quotes needn't necessarily be double quotes. They can be single quotes, but as long as it's within quotes, that's the right way to write it. So your attribute syntax would be your attribute equals quotes, and the value of that attribute should be written within those quotes. Now, the align attribute has 4 different values: left, right, center, and justify. So I'm just going to use right as my value here. So whatever I put within these two paragraph tags is going to be right aligned by default. Now, the align attribute is obsolete and is not used in the latest version of HTML, but I'm using it just to give you an example. So this is basically how tags, attributes, and their values are written in HTML. So now that you know how tags and attributes work, I'm just going to delete this. Let's create a sample web page. Now, the very first thing you would do while creating a HTML document is to specify what's known as the document type. Now, web browsers use a tag known as the Doctype tag, which will tell the web browser that this is a HTML document. Now, you should include this tag at the very beginning of your HTML file. This tag should not be enclosed within any other tags, and it should be on the very first line. So now that you've defined that this document is a HTML document, the web browser knows that this is a HTML page. So now you can go in and start typing the rest of your tags. Now, a HTML document consists of what is known as a root tag. The root tag in this case is the HTML tag itself. So here's the opening HTML tag, and here's the closing HTML tag. So any content that you would want to put in your web page should be between these two tags. Now, every HTML page consists of 2 different sections, a head section and a body section. So let's just create these 2 sections. Let's create an opening head tag and a closing head tag. So that would be your head section. Any content in your head section would go between these 2 tags. Now let's just create a body section. So now that we've created a body section, we can put all of the content that the user is going to see within the body section. Now, the head section generally contains links to other sources to render the web page. These can be JavaScript files, CSS files, fonts, CDNs, etc. It doesn't really matter. We don't have to know all of that for this tutorial right now. The head section contains a very important tag known as the title tag. Here's how you write it. So whatever you put within this title tag is what will appear on the tab of your web page. It can be literally anything. I'm just going to go with sample web page and save it. So now this text, this piece of text, sample web page, is what will appear on the tab of my web page when I open it inside the browser. So that's basically what the title tag does. Now let's come to our body section. Inside our body section, let's just say I want to create a paragraph like the tag we saw earlier. So I'm just going to do p/p, and I'm just going to type this is a paragraph. Sorry. I'm just going to type this is a paragraph. Now this entire piece of text will be rendered as a paragraph. Now let's say I want to create some text and make it look bold on the web page. Here's how I do it. I simply write b/b and I put some text in between. For instance, let's just say I put bold text. So what this does is basically it takes bold text and it renders it in bold. So let's say I want italic text. Here's how I do that. Here's how I do that. I would type I/I. So what this does is it takes the words italic text and it renders it in italics. I can even write my own name in there. You can just put Danny and it would render Danny in italics. Let's say I want to render underlined text. I would just have to use the U tag, U/U, and let's just say this is underlined. What this is going to do is this is going to take this line here and underline it and render it on the web page. So you can basically use any number of tags. You can also take this entire section here. I'm just going to cut this and I'm going to paste this inside of our italic tags. So you can basically take one tag and nest it inside another tag. So what this is going to do is this is going to render the word Danny in italics. This is also going to take the words this is underlined and render it in italics and make sure it's underlined. So now let's just save this page for now. Here's how you save a HTML page. You go in and you save it, give it some name. You can give it any name you want and give it the extension .html or .htm. You can give it either one of the two. I have already saved the web page, so I'm not going to save it. I've saved it on my desktop, so let's just go in and view that web page. Here's my browser, and yeah, so this is what my web page looks like. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see it clearly. So as you can see, my paragraph has been rendered using the paragraph tag. My bold text has been rendered using the bold tag, but since I have put all of my other lines, Danny, and this is underlined within the bold tag, they all have come out as bold text. And the word Danny has come out as italics. And since this is underlined, is a child element of the italic class, this entire line here, this is underlined, has also come out as an italic line. So that's basically how tags and attributes are created in HTML. You can go ahead and use your own tags. Now there is a huge list of tags. You can use any tag you would like and see how they work on your own web page. If you need a list of tags, I have left a link to a website in the description below. You can find a list of HTML tags that are currently in use by HTML5. You can just go ahead, open up that web page, take any tag you would like and play around with them and see how they work. So this is basically how any HTML page is made. Once you get your basics right, you can go ahead and you can create any web page you like using any tags you like. So that's about it. So if you like the video, you can give this a thumbs up and you can subscribe to the channel. If you think I could have done something better, you can leave it in the comments below. And if you've also got any suggestions as to what I should make for my next video, you can also comment that down below. And thank you for watching.